road. It should be to the right of it. They may turn the light. They may turn the lights off. And this is the Lincoln Memorial, the square building up here. And then the low building that's all lighted, that's the Kennedy Center, performing arts and stuff. The bridge coming up right here is the Memorial Bridge, named because it goes to the Lincoln Memorial. And at this point, right, there's not much more to see. See Georgetown University. It's 10 minutes on Fort Drive.
So what are we coming up on here?
We're crossing the Potomac, and this is the Lincoln Memorial straight ahead.
Lincoln Memorial?
That's the thing you see on the back of your penny.
Yeah.
Abraham's face is on the one of it, one side, and then the reverse side.
I think you're in too late.
Tails, yep.
Do they have church tomorrow?
I'm sure they do. It's an Episcopal, well, it's non-denominational, really. You have to be prepared to take a lot of notes and draw family trees, because these families get very complicated.
Even more complicated than the Roper.
All of the different.
Well, look at the line.
So this is where George Washington walked?
Yeah, that's right.
Right on this little roadway, huh?
Washington gave the land to his nephew. And again, already you can see how confusing it is.
Maybe we can pause it later. Read about it. That's interesting. Let's go see that. Need a hand jib. Steady cam. That's pretty amazing. Quite the ornate building.
You can easily take a tour. I'm sorry you can't photograph indoors.
Oh. Nice big trees. So this must be the place with all these tour buses. Tourists should be banned on rainy days. Anyway, let's go see how bad it is. Alright, put it on pause and read it.
Usually the answer is no.
Some wildlife. It's the farm. And here's another barn over here. It's too nice to be a barn. Just a little field. I want to make sure everybody gets it. And there is wildlife.
Big room and then one upstairs.
They were cheap.
One way, huh?
Stay on the left.
Well, he was Continental Congress in 1787.
What do you call the way that the roof is done? That's wood. That's a wood.
I wanted to show you that the brick facade's actually a sort of a sandy kind of concrete on top of wood. Yeah, people passing us. It's kind of cool.
This is all wood under here.
It's interesting. The views out here are amazing. If I was the first president, this is where I would want to live too. So nice. Lighthouse up there. Pretty far, about a mile away, maybe almost a mile. This building way down here. And I don't know what it is, but we're gonna go into the mansion right now. We're waiting in this long line of people to go see it. Inside the mansion at Mount Vernon.
I think it's the dining. Well, as you know.
That was the line we were in. Went through the building.
The room stayed empty all that time. When you get back to just about everything you see in those rooms, you take a moment to look around. About everything you see, the original or 18th century. Mansion reflecting the passion for the dead. George Washington was trying to make a good impression, put his best foot forward. We're a very young nation. We want everything to be very nice. History. This room, for example, General Washington, his generals, and the French generals were playing the final battle, the battle of Yorktown.
Wow.
Washington also died in the mansion. We'll get to see the room he died.
All of that, didn't you?
I heard a lot of it.
You want to hold it up in the room and listen to it again? Okay.
So he said this is where they planned the Battle of Yorktown, huh?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
Get one.
This table.
Patterns, Williamsburg, animated under.
Yeah. You think they'll sell it to us? If our deficit gets too high, maybe we can work out a deal.
Yeah, was it the paper said today it was only 750 billion or something?
Well, that's not bad.
Economics.
That's not too bad.
750 billion.
This looks like the Sound right here.
And the center passage is the oldest part of the house, and this is the part that Washington inherited from his older half-brother, Lawrence. It was a very nice farmhouse of a story and a half. The footprint of the house probably was,
Look at the contrast of
yes,
colors.
it's a very nice farmhouse,
Blue
a
to
story and a
green.
half. The footprint of the building probably went from fireplace to fireplace.
It's the key to the Bastille.
So this was divided into two on either side. And the
That's
sleeping
the one they
attic.
raised in France.
The young man, Washington, 75 years old, he decides he needs more room. He's single. He raises the roof, adds 5 bedrooms. Washington has this one 2-story home. It's the reason for she isn't come to visit and stay. And he is sober.
How cute that is.
All at the same time.
Little bed. So these are just guest rooms. It's a nice view.
Smaller than this one, and it's 7 rooms total up there, but they're very close together and very cramped. Lots of storage space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Sure. As you're making your way down the steps to your holiday.
What was in this place? Kitchen?
Yeah.
We need to get...
Kitchens were never part of the main house because the fires were a problem.
Yeah. Little spits to cook up the cows. Where they cleaned up the food, and looks like there's an upstairs here.
Did you see the hanging?
Oh wow, look at that little turkey. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Waiting for him to get right, huh?
I guess so. Not clucking anymore.
They can pluck on.
Hey, that's Thanksgiving right there, huh?
Like 80% of the exterior is original. It's the original. Did you hear that, Carrie? It's like 80% of the exterior, the wood on the exterior is the original stuff.
Really? You have to take a picture of the two of them up on there.
Yeah. Yes.
How do you like the Mount Vernon?
We'll walk in.
There's a mountain.
Actually, we may have
I don't see no mountains.
There's nobody on the porch right now. Before a crowd assembles, why don't you guys get up?
All right, let's go. What a fantastic view out here. There's a port if this thing will focus. And I'm lost. I don't know where I am.
You want to look at the baby ewes?
The lambs. Hey, could you get a picture of us up like this? With the house behind us, like right here?
Sure. Yeah.
Something like that. Where the house and that part over here is.
Okay. Now you're
That'd be
talking
nice.
about with the video camera.
Or with your camera.
Oh.
Something like that.
Okay.
And then we'll be in the middle of it.
Yeah. Before a normal bottling part.
The wash house. And possible. So that's where they cleaned up, huh?
This is where the slaves took care of everything.
So it turns out George Washington didn't like to plant trees in rows. He liked to plant trees sporadically to make them look like they were natural. And here's a writing chair. That's all it is, one chair.
Yeah. Just a regular old chair.
Yeah.
Suitable for the dining room, but for its morning, huh?
Whoa, where'd he go? He's gone. Oh no, there he is. Bye-bye, birdie. There's the stagecoach that George Washington rode around in. And I forgot to mention it, but that bed back in the house, the white bed, was actually the place that George Washington died from a throat disease, an infection in the throat that actually made him suffocate. And here's a stinky barn. Actually smells like cow manure. Alright. There's the barns, and that's just a pretty place to have a picnic. And then we're going to go down and see some lambs, and then we're going to go down and see the burial, the tomb of George Washington. This must be the compost pile, or the pig pen. The pig palace? Oh, the poop palace. So what do they do there? Just throw their poo-poo? Just a bunch of sheepies.
There's a black sheep. And there's another darker colored sheep.
Carrie, go jump in there and play with them. So is it a good, comfortable bench? Yeah, go sit on the bench and eat your peanuts. George Washington put his own keister on that bench.
How do you know?
Because I have a feeling, I have a sense of patriotism around this bench. Isn't that nice? Don't you feel more like an American? Eating your spicy peanuts?
Well, I'm sure, judging from the number of, I would say footage, but that's not the right word anymore, that you take on this, you really need to be a good editor, because you've got a lot of garbage on here, Chris.
No, this part's a keeper.
The garbage part. Watch he'll edit it together.
It's going to be...
What?
It's a masterpiece. It'll be 4 days worth of footage. It'll
30 seconds worth of video. That's how it goes.
I doubt it.
I thought that's what it said, the tomb this way.
Yeah, she said down here. Did it say turn left here?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Let's
I
go to
did not see that.
Let's go to the tomb.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Turns the stone down there.
Oh, how do we get back here?
That way?
Yeah, down there.
The old one's to the left and the new one's down to the right.
Well, that was where he was buried until 1831.
Oh,
Then
okay.
we had one built over there, which is now his tomb.
Okay, thank you. Let's go see the first one. The first one.
Look at the camera and smile with it too.
I'll take it unless it's on.
And that's the bowl.
Come on, he goes it right you bring the picture. Yeah.
The spires, the Washington Monument spires. Within this enclosed.
So I think he will no protection. We look for the call present. That's what if you look at it, then there is only one president. Only president is only one person. Call the assistant president. Jimmy Carter, you not call him assistant president. You say former president, you can say the honorable Jimmy Carter, but to say Mr. President, Jimmy Carter, Bill, I've been waiting for it.
See the panel before on the bottom. Daddy, where's my camera go? Oh, it's in your hand.
Yeah.
I need that.
Is that cool?
Are we going? Where are we going?
What's that?
It is big.
Large man. Some of these ladies there too. There's a wall. It's a lot of people. And here is the reflecting pool, and this is the Washington Memorial, and it was inspired by Egyptology, as you saw over in the tomb of George Washington. There are two spires like this. They do not correlate, except for that they are both inspired by Egypt. And that was around the time when Napoleon was taking over Egypt, so that's why everybody, Egyptology was all the rave. But here's the Lincoln Memorial, and I don't know if my battery's gonna keep going here, but we'll get some more shots tomorrow. There's too many people, too many darn tourists. And there he is. And as you can see, planes fly right over. They've opened things up a little more. So, alright. I'll see you later. There's some perspective on how big this thing is. Quite large. There's giant pillars everywhere. Very Romanesque. Very beautiful. And that's a mural I can't really get a good visual on. That's nice.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to get a picture.
There you go. Hello everybody. Day 2 in our Washington DC adventure brings us to the Smithsonian Castle. I don't know what's prettier, Carrie or the castle. Okay, Carrie. It's very lovely out here. I must say it's quaint. The lovely gardens all around and the bustling Betties singing us sweet lullabies. And that's the Department of Energy where Willie works. But she says she works down in the dungeon, somewhere under there. But anyway, enough of making you sick with my quick spins. Let's see if they'll let us take any pictures inside, which I doubt. So we went inside, and it was amazing. There was a king, and a jester, and donkeys, and the baskets full of stuff. Okay, no it wasn't, just information. But it's pretty cool. We're in the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. It is pretty spectacular. We're just starting out here. This will probably be a long day of cool stuff. Hey.
It's really it. It looks like it's wrapped in tinfoil.
Carrie's busting on the lunar module.
Looks like someone's science project.
Well, it was somebody's science project. Somebody named NASA. So how was your breakfast at Little Mexico? Pretty good? Good time? Did you have a good time? No pongo las manos en la tuba?
No eggs.
Anyway, this looks pretty cool. There's a bunch of cool stuff everywhere. The big booster. Yeah, that's not a good shot. There we go. So this is the docking of a U.S. shuttle and then the Soviet space station. Here we are flying high above DC in a giant jet. The North American X-15. Fast, look how fast it is. We're on the top of the entrance right now. There's a ton of cool planes around. Nice. Oh, look, it's that one passenger plane where they go into the space and then they come back. It's the first one. They won $2 million from Paul Allen. So anyway, pretty cool. The Spirit of St. Louis. There's a nice plane. Let's look over here. Other cool planes. Cool, very cool. Very cool. Look at this giant thing. Alright, so this plane right here was the first plane to fly transcontinental from one side of the US to the other in 1923. Pretty cool, you can kind of see inside of it up here. Look at that. Look at that wheel. It's like an ocean vessel. That cool wheel. That cool little copper thing on it. Anyway. More spectacular in person, I guess. This is the Wright brothers plane. I don't think it's the original. Looks way too clean, so, but it's really cool. Being able to see, had a little tiny engine there. It's cool. That's cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Actually, you're teaching me something, so.
Perform sometimes in aircraft mechanics.
Cool. Carrie! Don't touch anything, you'll break it. You break it. Okay, what's this plane, honey? Tell me all about it.
Big and green.
The big green plane?
And it has a leaping cougar on it.
Is that a cougar on it?
It is to me.
That cougar's got
Actually,
a bushy
I think
tail.
It's a dog.
Okay, it's a cougar. We just left the whatever museum we were just at with the planes, that thing. And we walked about maybe 3/4 miles up the road. And now we're at the Washington Monument. But you probably can't hear me because of the wind. Did you get a good picture? Great! Alright, we can't go to the top, so Carrie wanted to touch it. Now kiss it. Kiss it. It is dirty. I'm gonna break my back. Oh, it's so tall. It's so tall, and now I'm gonna barf. Oh. Alright. And that's the Capitol. And that's the mall. And it's pretty cool. So did you vote for Roberts down in Kansas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's been there long enough, huh? So this used to be a post office, huh? This is quite a post office. There you go.
It's amazing that they need the steel structure on the bottom, but not.
That's pretty cool. So we are up on the old office building, and it's about 30 stories up, I guess they says. It doesn't really feel that tall, but we are pretty high up. You can see Pennsylvania Avenue right here, going from the Capitol all the way down in front of the the White House, which is behind us. We'll try to get a shot of that. And there's the White House right there. Pretty cool, huh? There's the front of the White House. That's quite the mansion. Right next to it, I don't think you can see it, but there's a statue of Alexander Hamilton at the Treasury Department. And yeah, anyway, it's pretty cool. Check out over here. See this nice rounded building? That's something special. I think it's called the Triangle Plaza something, and there's the Washington Monument, which we couldn't go into today. And then there's the other city over there. I don't really know what that one is. It's pretty special. And that's the Lincoln Memorial off in the distance. You can see. Ultra zoom. And then in the back should be Georgetown somewhere. Anyway, it's pretty cool. Check it out! Somebody's having a party on top of a roof. No, no problem.
Maybe if I get a better job, I could do some of that. When you find a good job, let me know where.
You know what you're going to get for the kids.
Park the car in the Smithsonian. And a giant train. Hey Carrie, tell him to get out of there. Tell him to get out of there. We got work to do out here. So they opened up the White House for us because we're pretty special people. And oh, you're not supposed to see all those kids, or this painting, or this, or that. Never mind. Okay, so we're still in the Smithsonian. But isn't this kind of eerie? They lock the children up with the mules. And they put them under a light. This is the British yacht that sunk the gunboat. And I learned that from that little sign down there. Not any extra special smart. That's Lady Liberty crying over the coffin of Lincoln. And it is too dark. Gotta back up a little bit. Take a picture, honey. That is the head of Lincoln. You can't really see it low light. And there's a bust of Lincoln. So, anyway, that's where a bullet hit Teddy Roosevelt. But it didn't go through. Okay. George Washington and a bunch of ships and some other people. Cornwallis, big fat cow. Go get them. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff around here. I'm gonna check out Rosie the Riveter over there. All the cool posters. Oh, okay. And then Donald Duck.
I have asked for this radio and television time tonight for the purpose of announcing that we have concluded an agreement to end the war and bring peace with honor in Vietnam. We're going home. We're going home. The agreements provide for the withdrawal of the last American troops in Vietnam and the release of all Americans who are prisoners of war. We are profoundly grateful to our commander-in-chief and to our nation for this day.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
You should clean them off. They're a little dusty. Glare, 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 can't help it.
Sweet with Kermit the Frog. Nice with it. There's little felt feet.
Buddy would have his way with them, chewing them up. That's so cool. I was just gonna go with that. Hi Carrie, are we on the right train? Are we on the right train? Bye train. Not as spectacular as I thought.
Retirement. Anyone killed while on active duty or held as a prisoner of war is certainly eligible for burial. C. Spouse and minor children of anyone otherwise eligible are also eligible. All U.S. presidents are eligible by virtue of their position as president. Anyone elected to high public office who has also served in the military is eligible for burial here. And anyone who was discharged from any branch of the military for medical reasons prior to October 1st, 1949, having been rated as 30% or greater disability at the time of their discharge. That was the basis upon which my father is buried here at Arlington National Cemetery, a veteran of World War II. Now, as you look along this section to your left, you'll notice quite a variety in terms of the design and dimension of these memorial headstones versus the stark uniformity of this section all along your right. This is due to a ruling by the Fine Arts Commission back in 1947, who declared at that time that for the sake of uniformity throughout the cemetery, all new sections from that point on must be marked by these government-issued white markers made of Georgia white marble. But any remaining spaces left in any of the older sections of the cemetery still allow the families of the deceased the choice of purchasing the memorial headstone of their choice at their own expense.
Arlington house up there. where General Lee's buried. And right in front of us is the eternal flame of JFK. And let's go up and see it. You can see Jackie O's buried next to him. And not buried yet. The house is closed up there, so we won't be able to go see it, but it's a nice perspective. You can see the Capitol in the distance. The Arlington House. This was Robert E. Lee's house, given to him by his deceased wife. And after the war, rumor has it that the government tried to take it away from them by not allowing them to pay their taxes on it. So they'd send in their taxes, and the government would send it back. So they collected the house on back taxes. But about a decade later, they fought it, won at the Supreme Court, and it was given back to the Robert E. Lee family. Or actually, I think they bought it for several $100,000. But anyway, that's really cool. Marbling on it, almost like butterscotch. It's making me kind of hungry for some ice cream. Yummy. I just want to bite the marble. Anyway, it's closed up today. I can't go inside. It is a lovely view. You could see why they wanted it so bad. But there's JFK's memorial down here. I don't think you can. There's the flame. From the other side, a lot of tourists down there. Darn tourists. And here's the road that goes into DC. I can't remember what bridge that's called, but that's the Lincoln Memorial. Whoops, let me stay on it. Then over here that's the tower we were at, the clock tower. We were all the way in there taking pictures in there. And as you can see, there's the Washington Monument, which we're about level with, I'd say. Level with the top. And then there's the Smithsonian Institute. That's the natural sciences. We were in the one right next to it on the left, that one with the red roof. And there's the Capitol, which we'll be at tomorrow. And I don't know what that is in the back. Stadium. And then there is the where is it? There it is. There's the Jefferson Memorial, which we'll have to stop by tomorrow. So, anyway, we're going to go to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier now and see the changing of the guards. So we're at the tomb of, or the amphitheater at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Really, really beautiful. And we're gonna go see the changing of the guards. talking into the camera, but it's okay. No one can hear me.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I am Specialist Diebold of the 3rd Infantry Regiment, United States Army, Guard of Honor, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard. In keeping with the dignity of this ceremony, it is requested that everyone remain silent and standing. Left shoulder. Arms. Forward. March. Guards, halt. Forward, march. Guards, halt. Port, arms. Ready, face. Present, arms. Port, arms. Ready, face. Hands on your orders. Oath and orders. Come in as directed. Orders. Acknowledged. Ready, face. Present, arms. Right shoulder, arms. Post. Right, face. Forward, march. Guard, halt. All out. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention for one more moment, please? As of 7 p.m., Arlington National Cemetery is closed to the public, and the tomb of the unknown soldier becomes a military restricted post. Therefore, it is requested that everyone depart the area at this time.
Carrie.
What's up, girl?
We were in the Russell building, the Senate Russell building, underground, probably a couple of stories underground. This is the first Senate building. And this is the Statue of Freedom that's on top of the Capitol. U.S. on her chest. It's pretty nice. Perspective, it's pretty large. Here's our official chariot to the Capitol. Totally like Willy Wonka here. Only there's no river of chocolate. It's very nice and ornate.
This is the Bermuda corridor. And Constantino Bermuda, who's the artist of the Capitol, did all the designs and a lot of the paintings you see in here today. It's one of the most heavily decorated areas in the Capitol. Very ornate, very decorative. Let's kind of stroll around, look at a sweet Bermuda corridor brochure.
Formulation. I wonder why they got a fertility in the appropriations committee room. That's pretty cool.
The Senate doesn't actually meet there anymore. That's where they met.
Kansas statue, one of our two statues, and it's interesting for 3 reasons. It's unique. One, it's only one in green. Most other statues are in marble or bronze of some sort. It's the only green one, kind of like a homage to its military history. Second, it's the only statue to replace another statue so far. It's the first statue to replace another statue. And third, it's the only statue with a smile on its face. It's more of a smirk, but you know. I don't like to get too specific. If you look up, you'll see the apotheosis of George Washington at the top. It's quite amazing. It's deceptively tall. And then that's navigation. So there's really this cable being represented. Follow the apotheosis down, being laid at the same time. It covers from the beginning of American history at Columbus Landing, and if you follow it all the way around and end at Kitty Hawk. The original designer of this didn't need to expand it. Do that, we found out to do. Did I see it?
Yeah. That's interesting. Now, did he sign it underneath? It looks like there's initials. What was his name?
I'm not sure. Off the top of my head.
Carrie, if you zoom up on it, there's a signature underneath on the tree space.
Let's roll around over here.
That's pretty cool.
This is the embarkation of the Pilgrim. The House of Representatives met before they grew so large that they couldn't cram them all in one place anymore. And it has a weird acoustic property to it. And in the shaping of the dome, there's a physics equation that they've used to figure this out. If you stand in a certain spot over there, crystal clear, at a whisper. And the opposition on the other side, and just kind of spy as they sleep. It's really neat. It's really a neat little. That's one of my favorite things in the Capitol tours. It's really interesting little acoustic quality.
And what is that up there with the?
That's Freedom again.
And
she's pointing down, directing people, and with the serpent representing knowledge and the eagle representing wisdom. It's the largest statue, and it's tucked away in the back. And people are, why is it in the back? Because it's kind of gaudy. It's because it needs 2 retaining walls and 3 pillars underneath it to keep it from crashing through the floor.
Wow.
It's solid all the way through from top to bottom. So it's the heaviest statue in the entire Capitol.
Cool.
important Hawaiian days or when a Hawaiian dignitary visits, they'll come in here and they'll just throw garlands of flowers, leis, over his hand and his spear. So it's interesting sometimes. You come in and you just be covered in garlands and leis. It's a neat thing to see.
We're outside in the back of the Capitol now. It's the top. It's pretty cool looking. We're just inside. And our tour's leaving us. Yeah, right. You'll get the honest truth out of C-SPAN. So we're going to the House chamber now?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
See, as you can see, it's being scooped out like a cereal bowl. So
I got my DC luck. All right.
What are we doing?
To get good luck from the Senate. This is cool. We're heading from the House to the Senate. Okay, we're done with our tour, and now we're here on the, I guess this is, what is this road?
Delaware.
Columbus Road. Delaware and Columbus. And this is the Union. Why are we going there? It's not green. So I guess there we go. Nice cool fountain right here. We'll get closer. Yeah, had a nice lunch, and now we're in the Smithsonian National Art Museum. It's like a waterfall kind of thing. It's pretty cool, and it comes all the way down from outside. I don't know if you can see the depth, but it's pretty cool in person. And there's the underground moving stairs or walkway. Standing at the National Archive Museum, and in front of this giant door, there's Carrie taking a picture of me for scale. So it's pretty large. I'd say it's a good, I don't know, I can't even say, maybe 100 feet or 50. That's the Magna Carta. Cool. Really low light, but we can't stand in this line for another 20 minutes. It'll probably take us 30 minutes to get through this line to see the Declaration of Independence and all that stuff. Maybe we'll try to hit it on the way out of town, but for right now, we gotta go. Here's the outside of the archive building. And over here's this really cool looking insurance building. There's another runner. Everybody's running around here. Nice little dome in the middle of all these other buildings. It's pretty cool. We're gonna hop on the metro and then meet Dick and Willie for some dinner. Alexandria now. It's kind of dark. Hopefully you can see that. But that's the place where George Washington used to eat, called Gatsby's. And here's the street, and here's a sycamore tree right here. Pretty cool. Pretty nice little town. Taking a night view of the Capitol. Carrie's walking in front of me. We're gonna go over here and take a picture. Quite the sight. Can you get a picture? No flash, huh? And you can't really see anything else. Just a bunch of lights. Hey Carrie, you ready to go to Virginia? Oh wait, we're in Virginia. Where are we going now?
Morristown, Tennessee.
Morristown, Tennessee. This is our bed that we were staying on.
You're gonna make it
Nice wood. There's a little bathroom. Got the poo on that potty. And then out here, little room. We never really got to see this place much. Let's go out back real quick. Look at this gorgeous dogwood right here. Beautiful white blossoms and we're actually in Fairfax, and when we woke up yesterday it was nice and foggy. You could kind of see what it looked like with colonials walking through the forest heading off to war. And then here's the back of their house. It's pretty nice. So, there you go. Whoa, what's that bird? Did you hear that? Let me call my little friend. Oh, they must have. They could sense my West Coast accent. This is their kitchen. And there's that lovely dogwood from the second story. Pretty cool little house. Outside of the house. Pretty nice little home. And then there's our giant boat that we're going to be taking down. We got a really great deal on the rental, but we'll probably lose all that savings in gas prices. Ready to go, Carrie? Dude. And this is the house. And that's the paper. Pretty nice little home. We had a nice stay. They said the leaves are so much in the fall that they pile them all up and they're bigger than the cars. Pile them up right here and then their kids, well, they used to, grandkids now, dig tunnels in them and play around in their little fort. Anyway, let's go to Chattanooga.
Right here in River City.
Alright, so where are we at?
Okay, we're at Manassas National Battlefield Park in Virginia.
Okay.
And we are standing on Harold Hill, and that is Howard Hill, and that house there is the Howard House, or it's where the original Howard House stood. The original was much smaller than that. This was built to replace it, probably by a private owner before this became the park that it is. And it was here that some of the principal hand-to-hand fighting occurred during the First Battle of Manassas.
Now out there would be the battlefield where they were shooting at the Confederates over that hill over there.
I can't tell you what direction they were. That sign down there may help us on that.
And down the face of a cannon here. This one's got a direct shot at Stonewall Jackson. Get those dirty South. And then there's all the caissons back here.
Okay, I got my family names all mixed up. This is Henry Hill, and that is the Henry House. Howard didn't have anything to do with it.
In the middle of the field, you've got Brigadier General Francis Steving Bartow, his grave site, who was the first Confederate officer to die in the war. You got some Confederate cannons right here on this hill, and then there's a statue of Stonewall. And there's the Union soldiers right there, maybe 150 yards apart. And so right here on this ground is where the first monument to the war was erected, but then the Confederates tore it down, and now in 1865 the soldiers built that monument, which is the oldest Civil War memorial still standing today.
There's a hot, still morning. Judith Henry was in there, bedridden, because she was old, and couldn't take care of the farm. And then about 10 a.m. over on the hill over there, they artillery came into place, and she refused to leave her house.
She was sick anyway, though, right? Oh. Sure. First civilian casualty of the war. Hey, look right here. Did you know, Carrie, that this is the oldest monument, Civil War monument, erected by soldiers in 1865? That's still around. It's pretty cool. Erected by Union soldiers, because it says Bull Run. The Confederate soldiers called it Manassas. See, Union soldiers, they would identify a battlefield by a particular river or lake that was nearby, whereas the Confederate soldiers would name the battle by the town that was around. So this first battle of the Civil War was called Bull Run by the Union, but later adopted Manassas is what everybody's starting to call it around here anyway. So anyway, it's a nice rebuilt home.
A lot of trees in here. Got a couple of trees in here.
That's Matthews Hill right over here. It's not really no relation because it's spelled with 2 T's. And anyway, so this is the first battlefield. It's really a neat feeling to be here. It's funny because they said that a lot of the politicians and socialites followed the Union troop out here, thinking that it'd just be a exciting, romantic spectacle. And they sat over there on that hill over there, watching the battle. Some of them got squished when the Union began to retreat. But yeah, it really opened up their eyes. I guess I don't know what they were thinking, you know, with all these canister shells that have tin cans with buckshots that rip through the wool, the flesh, destroying the bones. They knew what kind of weapons they were. So anyway, I think they just wanted to see what modern warfare looked like. Anyway, let's move on.
Canister that he said, this is probably named after an ancestor of yours. They got
Case shot. Yeah, that's probably, yeah. We probably invented that one right there.
Yeah.
Yep. That's cool. It's the canister shell.
I think that's what they call a grape.
Look at that one with the fuse inside and the whole thing would explode, man. Down there.
But this was 1962. So you're sitting there half hour, half mile away with artillery, you see people marching on.
There, Dick, that we're looking at to the left down in that valley.
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because within a mile or so, you're going to see a sign that says Buck Hollow Overlook. And as I told you, Buck Hollow was here it is.
There's
coming
a
up
sign,
right here.
Buck Hollow
Overlook. My
27 elevation.
third great grandfather or something like that, Jenkins, William Jenkins owned Buck Hollow.
Oh, cool.
way back, we can stop and
We'll take some shots.
look over the overlook. Shenandoah flows into the Potomac at...
This is the Shenandoah Valley. We're about 3,000 feet up. Ugh, just winding around a big road. Carrie's almost barfed in the back of our brand new rental car.
Shut up.
But she feels good now, right? Dick's driving like Mario Andretti up these curves, using all 200 horses of this car. But it's pretty nice. You can see down here there's a little, where is it? Let me see. Oh, somewhere down here. There's a little lake. A little lake, and maybe that's where the river goes through. So we're gonna go to the top and have a nice little sandwich. Alright, sit in the front. Now, Dick.
We are at Newmarket Battlefield Park, Newmarket, Virginia, in the Shenandoah Valley.
Alright. And it's a chilly day in the Shenandoah Valley. Right.
Real cold.
So we're not going to pay $10 each to go look around on the battlefield,
10 minutes
because we're not
$1 a minute. I just don't think it's worth it.
So anyway, what was special about this battle was that the cadets from the Virginia Military Institute, who were just 14-year-old kids, got involved.
Yeah, it could have been probably a lot of them were older than that.
Yeah.
They were not yet ready for that.
Okay. And we'll just bring a brochure home. Well, we just entered Tennessee by way of Highway 81. Dick's been our faithful driver. No accidents yet, even though he tried. So we're heading down to Knoxville, and I don't know what we're going to do after that. This is Panther Springs on Panther Creek, where a bunch of cars around me. Had to watch out. Hey Dick, why don't you tell us about this place?
I ought to take a picture of you guys. This is Panther Springs. Remarkable amount of water just coming right out of the ground here at the base of this hill. A hill, I might add, that is absolutely infested with poison ivy. I tried to walk up to the top of it, and it was incredible. Poison ivy.
And how long did McChord stay here?
I don't think he spent a lot of continuous time here. Not as much as he did at some other campgrounds, but they marched through here several times, and I think they may have camped here for 2 or 3 days on those occasions, but nothing extended.
It's nice and urbanized now.
Yep.
Carrie!
And on top there's a picture button you can take. On top you can take the button.
Got it.
Got it?
Yeah. Now we're in Dandridge. This is the Dandridge Visitor Center, built in I think 1804. And we were just inside, met a nice lady, and we're going to go look at where McChord had dinner with some folks. However, before we get there, I wanted to show you this little graveyard here, which has grave sites for people back in the Revolutionary War, as well as the Civil War. And some of them are definitely not identifiable. But I'm going to try to find one that you can read. This person here looks like a Mercutian. Died in 1812, so I don't know if he died during the War of 1812, but he was definitely old enough to be in the Revolutionary War. And then here's some other sites. So, anyway. On the neatest old-timey building right here. Somebody's weed whacking their backyard, but I have no clue when this was built, but it definitely is old. Looks like they put a new roof on it, however, a couple years back. So this is the house where McChord ate with the Lady Swan, and that's the current owner. So you can take a picture of the front of it. The building's still in good shape. Take good care of it. So we're back to the cemetery. I'm just sitting on this nice little bench. See, it's made of stone. It's so comfy. And Carrie is walking through the graveyard. Ooh, it's a really cute little town. Plenty of activity around here. But that is a dike back there that holds back this gigantor lake. This place was going to be underwater, but they appealed, and Roosevelt gave an executive order that they were to build the dike and save the town. Probably because of all the history here. Where are you going, Dick?
Oh, halfway up and partway down.
We're trying to reenact a picture here. I got my camera rolling, so if something happens, we can send it to America's Funniest Home Videos. Maybe make some money off of it.
I don't think there are any shoes that would help here.
I'll try to.
It's much harder
You gonna
to
go?
down than to go up.
So we traverse this uneasy climb here.
Yeah, it's this many up there, and the signs are no trespassing. Can we give you a hand?
Check the old train tracks. Oh crap. Honey, my foot's stuck. Honey, my foot's stuck on the track. Just kidding. It's not.
So that would be the hill that he was on. They went across, then they went up over the back of the hill, and then came back up to the top. And they had batteries sitting on the top of that hill. And the sharpshooters, who would have been along the banks, they said all along the banks on this side, were shooting at him.
So the tree that has the bullets probably up there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
It says we can't walk across the bridge.
Yeah.
That's the no trespassing sign. I think that that's probably a good sign of respect.
Extremely dangerous. Who's that in the picture?
I don't know. It's just some soldier who was guarding this end of the bridge.
Okay.
That's across the Holston River.
And then that's the hill up there?
That's the hill right there. And they had kind of a fort up there. That's where the artillery moved. Originally, the artillery was placed down on the far side of the bridge near one of the little houses that was built there and stood there.
Yeah.
But it didn't work, so they moved the artillery up on the hill, and that's where McChord was standing, together with the general and the colonel.
So that little mound over there, what do you call those rock structures?
I don't know. The foundation.
Yeah.
The present one has a marking that says it was built in 1907.
Okay. So that was an older one. That was the original.
I think those are exactly what we're looking at in this photograph.
Okay, great. You ready to?
I'm so pleased because the last time I was here I was so disappointed that I couldn't find anything. That, well, as I said, I found it kind of from another vantage point that was not satisfying at all. And we can go around and look at it from there. It's a different view. And you can see the hill better, or at least when I was here, it was early May, I could see the hill over there better. See, this kind of spirit. I mean, she just couldn't resist stuff
They're
like
going down.
Carrie's gonna go on her butt.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So.
It's interesting. From up here, you have more of a sense of that hill, don't you?
Yeah. This is where the Confederates were shooting at the other hill. Is that right?
Yeah. The Union had burned the bridge. It was on the other side. Had their artillery and was trying to shoot the Confederates who were over here. And the Confederates, especially their sharpshooters, were firing back. McChord was right up at the crest of this hill. Initially, it had gone back over the back side of it, then he came back up to the top so he'd have a view. And they also had a view of him.
Mm-hmm. And so they'd burnt the railroad so they couldn't get across. And this cemetery was actually here when they fought. That monument right there says 67. So just 2 years after the Civil War. But, that's disgusting. A bunch of people dumping. I wasn't sure if I was going to show it to you or not. But there ought to be laws. We're now on the other side of the hill, just hiking around, trying to find the remains of the fort. We just crossed a big field and hiking through the woods now. There's Carrie. An old railroad ran through here. You can see the old railroad. There's a railroad tie. There's another road. Alright. Carrie.
Because some of this stuff could be poison ivy. It's not. I had thought that I had seen a place here in this tree where it has been injured at about, see that mark right there? That gap in the bark? And this is just an absolutely crazy theory, but it's kind of fun to have one.
Oh. So you think that's where a shot might have went in?
Yeah. Well, he took it out, too.
Oh, he did get the ball out.
Yeah, he got it out.
Mm. It's a nice little butterfly out here. Well, it looks like we found some stones back here. As you'll notice, there's some stonage. I'm not sure if they're natural. Then we also found a pillar and another sort of shaped stone. Could be natural, I doubt it though, because of the, looks pretty squared off. And then there's this berm that goes back behind it. We're not sure, but it's somewhat facing the right direction of the adjacent hill that the rebels would be on.
Driving in from this direction, and we've come to the area where Temperance Hill is here in Knoxville. This black arrow right here points to the battery that was supported by the 111th Ohio.
And so then, where were the Confederates coming in?
Well, the Confederates were all around everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they had these batteries here, to make sure that the Confederates did not come into Knoxville.
So looking out here at the landscape then, which way would the guns be pointing?
I would think about the same way your camera is, maybe a little bit to the right of it.
Okay.
And I would think that also the guns were certainly set in a way so that they could repoint them as necessary.
Yeah. This is a pretty good hill here.
It is. It sure is.
We're in the town of Loudon, and our historical markers back there. And we're going to walk up the road, up the bridge, and look at the Tennessee River. That's kind of cool. There's a big tower. Looks like a turkey chilling out on top of this Gigantor stand. And over here, it looked like there was another one. Alright, people think it's a vulture, not a turkey.
What's that?
I think they're right. I'm talking to my camera, it's my only friend. Yeah, it's weird looking, that's for sure. But why are we looking at a gross looking bird when we could be looking at the beautiful Tennessee River? Look how beautiful! And the little boat. Just driving along. And that's a bunch of cars passing by.
There was a lot of controversy because a lot of people said that Lincoln should be given any resources to the East Tennessee campaign.
Yeah.
Because those people weren't going to cause any trouble anyway. So why are you wasting money somewhere where our friends are? He said it's because they are our friends. So he felt an obligation to the Union sympathizers in Knoxville.
That's pretty cool. Here's our second night sleeping away from the casa. We're here in Loudon, Tennessee. There's a beautiful view of a nice southern home and a bunch of cows that I will be eating tonight at the Log Cabin Grill. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Nice little place. Pretty cheap. And let's go do some homework.
Standing here, and it turned out we only used one camera that had everybody in it, and that camera had a drop of water on the lens, so it turned out to be just one big blur.
Here at Lookout Mountain, looking over the city of Chattanooga. This is where Roper's Rock is located, and I'm walking up to a great view out here. Let's go check it out. Nice little cannons. Beautiful lady on the stairs. Isn't that something? Now that's quite a view, huh?
That's Chatanooga,
Tennessee. Let's go look down here. Well, what are you going to do? Roll down in the bushes? Whoa!
You don't understand. Those are bushes, those are tops of the trees.
Quite a view, huh? It's the New York Monument, a tribute to all the New York regiments. Anyway. Can't really read that, can we?
Yeah, so we're having a good time, guys? Oh.
Yeah, we are. Help me push this thing down the hill. This is a rebel cannon. We gotta destroy it.
How do you know it's broke?
Because that's who was up here. Actually, it says U.S. on it. All right, let's go. It's buried in the concrete.
Heading down to one of the lookouts, and then we're going to go over and see Roper's Rock. It's really beautiful up here.
So you can't really see what the shape of the rock is, but it's a rock that is very much like this.
Which one?
This one right here. He took a photograph of the whole company, you know, and in that case, that gives you an idea. There must be about 50, 60 people on it.
Mm-hmm. Talking about Roper's picture of his unit.
It's too far to do that.
What's this place, honey? Who? Ox?
O-C-H-S.
I don't think you would have done it on this one.
It's pretty cool. Nice.
But right here is where a photographer used to have his picture.
What's that?
There's like God up here.
Yeah, this is where I'd go if I was a hippie.
Come out, smoke some reefer.
Right, this is Umbrella Rock.
Umbrella Rock?
And on the spot where this museum is where a little photographer like lived up here to take pictures.
From the city? Something.
There was a guy named Lynn who had a photographic studio up here. And first he had a tent, and then he had a shack where he developed his photographs. And he had a business of taking photographs of the soldiers. They would come up here, and they would sit and stand out here at the far end. And it looks like a really steep drop-off if you get it from another angle. From here it doesn't look like that. And I'll show you in a second the vantage point of his camera.
And here's just a snapshot of what's down there.
Stand down on that, there's even a little footprint press down there, down below.
Uh-huh.
And these guys would roll out and see how far out they could get. And there are thousands of pictures. You can buy them on eBay. They're a whole lot more expensive. But in the enormous business, there are postcards. They probably have them in the bookstore here that show some people on them. The ones they they sell would probably be the ones that have generals on them, like the one with Hooker. Now somewhere, Dan Farrell told me about this, and I haven't identified it. There is a spot where you can see where the 3 feet of a tripod were positioned for taking photographs. And I would have thought it'd be over here, because that's where Lynn took all of his pictures, but I don't see it here.
Over 150 years ago, Carrie's ancestor, what's his first name? Grandpa Roper was taking pictures of people, and he was backing up on this very rock, trying to get the best vantage. He got as close to the edge as he could, and then some, plummeting to his doom. But all these trees weren't here back then, so it was pretty much a tough landing.
But do you think that tree's gonna soften it for you?
No.
Wow.
Well, it'd break your fall, yeah.
Slow you down.
I think you wouldn't hit it. I think it'd be kind of hard to hit that tree.
Throw the camera down there. Show what it would have been like, Fred.
Okay. Psych. All right, so here's the heirs, the lineage, the posterity of, what's his first name? William Roper.
He had his kids first.
Yeah.
Right. Fortunately, he had kids before he fell.
Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be here.
That's right.
And I wouldn't be here.
And what's more, if he hadn't fallen, we might not be here either, because his widow might not have moved to Kansas.
True.
Where people met people and had babies and did all that kind of stuff.
So that's how it works. Nice. All right.
Now, here's the picture you have to have. Because it's going to duplicate and turn your flash on. I'll use your camera.
All right.
Maybe the most famous of the Lookout Mountain photographs is one that shows General Grant standing here, and you can see that point down there in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some other generals that are over around where these trees are here.
Mm-hmm.
Grant was standing in a place that doesn't exist anymore. I think it was probably right about where this is. And I don't know whether there was a rock that fell away or what, or whether they blew it out in order to make this staircase. But you see that photograph. Actually, it's on the walkway back there. You walk past it.
Okay.
But I'm going to take a picture of you guys, kind of in the same position. Maybe if you stand here, it will be as close as we can do as to where Grant was.
Okay.
I'm going to turn my flash on so we'll get you guys lit up a little bit too.
Different vantage here. There's the top of Roper's Rock. Just wanted to give you a sense of how high it was. That's not the bottom. That's the bottom. So that's a pretty good fall. We're at the bottom of Roper's Rock now. And there's the top. Where is it? No, it's not. There's the top. Way up there. There's Dick. There's a nice little cave to live in.
Yeah, it's quite a cave, isn't it?
Yeah, put a little ladder up there, you got a nice cozy home. It's a bear in the woods. Oh no, it's just Dick. He's climbing around the base to see where they would have put the lattice to get up before we have these fancy stairs. I really just wanted to take pictures of him just in case he fell, so that I could send it to America's Funniest Home Videos. But no funny stuff today. Don't worry, Dick, I got you on camera, so if you fall, we'll be able to send it to all your friends. Mr. Young and his...
I suppose Roper was wearing them nice slippery
penny loafers
like this.
Alright, let's go back to safety before you get us into some trouble. Pretty cool. Below that rock we were on, not the Roper Rock, but the Lookout Rock, where they would take a lot of pictures. There's this little memorial here, nice patina color. Alright, just thought it was kind of cool. Let's pull out. And I guess they had a hotel right here called Point Hotel where guests could come and stay in these rooms that overlook Chatanooga, which is now covered with trees right here on the hill. But they tore it down after it became a national park. And here's another memorial to the 111th Division. You can see some people right here. Must be walking up a waterfall. Anyway, let's go back up these stairs to the top of Roper Rock. Here's the picture we were reenacting. Here's Grant. Staff officers. And there's Dick breaking the law, climbing the fence, just like a roper.
Grandmother would be proud.
There you go.
Here we go.
There's Dick in the bushes, in the poison ivy. Anything to get the shot, huh?
She is so sensitive to poison ivy, and you know that these trousers I've been wearing the last...
He's gonna get Willie sick, huh? Here's the edge of this cliff. Last step. It's pretty interesting. Woo! Gives you a sense of respect for heights. Anyway, let's go while we still can walk. A couple shots of me traversing the mighty stone. We're at the exit. The gate.
Please collect your receipt from the tray below.
Is it locked? Yeah, it looks locked. Now we're in the heart of Chattanooga, right next to the Tennessee Aquarium River Journey. Later on we'll see a 3D adventure, but you got the banjo guy playing over here. Oops. Where is he? Over here. Playing under the bridge. So you know you're in Tennessee now. Oops, gotta catch up to Carrie. The sounds of progress. We're down here on the Tennessee River. We just bought our tickets to go on the Southern Belle. We're gonna ride a little ferry around and have some lunch. But first, we have to wait 2 hours, so we're gonna go ahead and go to the aquarium. Maybe see the 3D IMAX. There's the boat we're gonna be on. Truly lovely down here. Nice warm day, 75 degrees with a cool breeze, which takes the heat off. And that's the aquarium up there.
We don't have to worry about those big birds swooping down on our boat and taking your kids away. To know wrong, they circled up and out of sight in the upper world hundreds of years ago. But the bluff is still one of the 66 known sacred sites of the Cherokee people remaining in the southeast. Now, part of our 21st Riverfront Development Project was opening up the aquarium, First Street, all the way up to the Bluff, New York, Street up here. Because on top of that today, the Hunter Museum, Houston Museum of Decorative Art, many fine restaurants. In fact, if you're going to be in town over the weekend and you hadn't made plans for Sunday brunch, ooh, Renaissance Commons.
There, look at the camera.
We'll be planning on walking. You had to walk more than 2,000 steps on that day. Okay, we'll get good food. Now, this Hunter Museum contains one of the Southeast's leading collections of American art. Now, one of the additions to the museum, the concrete portion here, was actually built in line with the blind. They tried to disguise that building so the buzzards couldn't see it. So they'd still miss there on the blind. The newest edition looks more like a buzzard. It's got all the stainless steel and zinc plating on it.
We're here on the Tennessee River, taking the Southern Belle. We just had some roast beef turkey sandwiches. Now we're just cruising around the river. About another hour. So we're heading towards the Lookout Mountain up here where we were this morning.
One of my favorite things to tell you about is almost straight out in front of us right now down there. You've got your camera with a beautiful shot to Lookout Mountain.
And that's where we were this morning.
You know, before the Cherokee lived here, this was Creek Indian country. Now, so maybe we'll build a cultural interpretation center to tell all these stories. In the big field coming up on our right here on the Moccasin Point, we might hear some shooting here in a few minutes. And that's where
this is a New York monument up there. So right down here,
they got a rappelling tower, firing range.
Roper Rock is
a little obstacle course out there. Canine training center there as well.
in here somewhere.
Our SWAT team practices out here all the time. In fact, our SWAT team practices all over the city. They even come out and board us. And Georgia's the Cloudwood Canyon State Park, so
We're getting really close on this tour, huh, honey?
Also down there, you know,
yeah, it is.
Near
I don't think we get this close.
Where the DeSoto Falls is. That Little River. DeSoto Falls, Little River Falls, Bear Creek.
Oh wow, you can.
There's so many creeks and waterfalls up there.
You can see this the billet or stabilizer.
On the top of Lookout Mountain, they dug out the
Everybody's getting sick. I'll zoom out, make it easy on us.
Go to River Canyon. One of those beautiful places to go anywhere in this part of the country. It's a national land.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi, Jesse.
Say hi, Judah.
Judah, say cheese.
Taking a picture, video.
Hey, what's up?
Wake up!
What's up, big guy?
Wake up.
Peekaboo! Say hey,
Chris.
Sarah, what's up?
What's up?
Alright, so they're here, so now we get to
You're here.
go to Nashville.
Chattanooga. We're going to Nashville.
Chattanooga, home of the moon pie.
Where do you guys want to eat?